is 7:03. I'm going to call this meeting to order and just want to welcome everybody back. It's been 3 weeks since we've held a meeting, so welcome back. So on our meeting tonight of the North Coventry Board of Supervisors, we have Harvey Greenwald, Supervisor Rebecca Elliott, Supervisor Rick Sheeler, myself, Jim Marks, along with Erica Badorf, the Township Manager, and Dan Sager, Township Solicitor. Board members, you have the minutes of the August 24th, 2020 meeting. Do I have any corrections or comments?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 24th?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Rebecca made the motion. Rick seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have unpaid bills totaling $103,436.53 and have a list of paid bills and payroll totaling $199,678. Any questions on the bills? I did post a list of these bills on the website over the weekend. Does any of the public have any comments or questions on the bills? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to pay the $103,436 and acknowledge the $199,678 of payroll and paid items since the last meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Harvey made the motion, Rick seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Developers bills, any comments on the developers bills? Okay, Schenkel Park. We have no subdivision and land development this meeting, so we're going to move right into new business, which is Schenkel Park. There's a proposal to develop a parking area. This property is the newest, I think the newest open space, or one of the newest open spaces that we have. Parks and Rec is proposing a small little parking lot to be installed at the entrance of the property. In your packet was a breakdown of costs prepared by John. Erica, do you have any comments on this?
I think that's a good summary. Recently, Parks and Recreation, the commission made a recommendation to move forward with this improvement. I know that they have some plans to look at having some trails and that sort of thing, but to try and get this on the docket so that this could be part of the road crew's work plan moving forward.
Okay, and just for the benefit of the public, I'm just going to bring up John's breakdown. So here's a breakdown of John's proposal. Total cost of the project is $6,740. Do I have any comments or questions from the board? John, what's the time frame on this?
Sometime this fall, potentially, if Parks and Rec is ready to go.
Okay.
I know they have a little prerequisite work they're trying to get done here in the next couple of weeks. So,
do I have any comments from the public? If you do, please just unmute yourself, identify yourself, and comment.
Chris Washburn is it's a very small access, but we do have enough for the access.
And the $6,700 is coming out of what fund?
Open space.
Okay. All right, hearing no other comments from the public. Okay, so I'll be looking for a motion to authorize the Township Public Works crew to install a new 40 by 40 square foot parking area at Schenkel Park with a total estimated cost of $6,740, of which will come from the Open Space Maintenance Fund. Do I have someone who will make that motion?
So moved.
Rick makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Rebecca seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, old business. If you remember back in February, Tracy Shaner approached the board about an event an event that she was putting on for Evan's 11 5K run. So this event was originally scheduled to happen in June, but because of the pandemic got postponed. That event has since been rescheduled. So I thought, since our initial motion was date specific, that we'd bring it up here again to give her the approval to hold the event. This is 5K run, which will use part of Laurelwood Road. And I believe Tracy, you're on?
I am.
Okay. Why don't you just recap for the benefit of the public a little bit about the event, where it goes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Jim. So the event is held yearly. We normally have a day of kindness that comes with it, but this year we've actually split it up because of the pandemic. So we're able to implement COVID guidelines within the event very safely and easily. So in prior years, we have utilized the Westmont Christian Academy's loop, like on their fields. And unfortunately for our runners, it's pretty treacherous. And so this year we really wanted to give them a better course for running. And so I did reach out for a special permit from PennDOT to close one lane of 724 during the race between 7:30 and 9:30, which is prior to the mall opening, so that we would have less traffic. And they have approved it. However, they definitely, I have to go back with some additional COVID guidelines at this point for waivers, but they've approved the actual closure. Now, talking to Chief Dykert, I know that we have some things to work out that potentially maybe closing 724, that stretch of 724 might be a better option for us. So I am definitely going to ask PennDOT if we can close that stretch of the road. So additional conversations to be had as far as what the correct or maybe the best route for us, whether we should close the entire section of 724 for that period of time, so that we don't have any stress with getting cars that are coming on and off of the roadway during that time. So we will be running the race out from Norco Fire Company onto the westbound lane at this point in time on 724 to the right lane of Laurelwood down to River Park, turn around, and then come back the exact same way. So 3.1 miles for the 5K. So we were just asking if we could continue with the road closure for Laurelwood Road for the event, just on the new date.
And in addition to that, you do need a indemnification statement. This is something that PennDOT had requested.
As part of the COVID waiver, yes, from the township. And I gave that information to Erica for the, it's just a letter basically with the letterhead from the township saying that you agree to the COVID guidelines are in place and that we're taking on that liability. I also do have the race insurance as well. So I have $1 million in race insurance. I also have already given the certificate of insurance to the township as well.
Okay. Erica, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that, as far as the waiver, Tracy, you and I, corresponding on that, I was curious if it was COVID related, something in addition to that. So I just wanted to make sure we had that clarified. And, certainly working with Officer in Charge Dykert, on logistics and that kind of thing. And just to confirm, so the fire company is assisting with the coordination and marshaling of the race and that kind of thing.
That's correct. So the fire police.
Yep, right, fire police, yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Any comments or questions from the board?
What is the date?
October 24th is the new date.
And it's from what time, 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.?
So the actual race begins promptly at 7:30, and normally for a 5K, it doesn't usually take more than an hour, even if you're walking it. So we have until 9:30 technically.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
Yes, I have a comment.
Sure.
Paula Turrell, of course, North Coventry. I just have a question with regard to how many, Tracy, how many people are you anticipating to participate in the event?
Well, we are only allowed due to COVID guidelines, 225 runners. So we are asking that they sign up as soon as possible. So we would love to get 225 people for the event since our fundraising for the year has really been affected and impacted. So this would be great if we could get the 225 runners.
Okay, and will they all, are you requiring all the runners to wear masks?
The runners are required to wear masks if they are standing in line or walking around the event, but during the race they are not. But our race swag for this year is a running buff, so there's still an option of them wearing a mask if they want
Okay.
to.
Okay, so that was my question was that, like with every road race, there's discarded trash, whether it be their clothing, their shoes. So I imagine you have a game plan in place to pick up all the
We
masks that will be laying around.
Sure. Well, let's hope that they don't. But if they do, we have race marshals that
Okay.
actually, they're called sweepers, which are at the end
Great.
of the race
And
every
they'll be
year.
protected. There'll be gloves and they're going to take the
Yep.
precautions to protect themselves.
Absolutely. We have where everyone is going to be gloved
Great.
up and masked up for the registration as well as the sweepers at the end as well.
Knowing the COVID numbers, the last question, knowing the COVID numbers as they continue to fluctuate and increase based on holidays and such, if the numbers exceed a certain amount of COVID cases in Chester County, will you reschedule your event?
Yes, we are following the guidelines very closely along with Pretzel City Sports, who actually is our race
Okay.
timer.
Great.
So we are keeping well within the guidelines. If they're not able to run the race as well, that would be something that we would also reschedule.
I appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking.
Thanks, Paula. Okay, any other comments from the public? All right, hearing none. I'm looking for a motion to approve the closure of Laurelwood Road on October 24th, 2020 for the Evans 11 5K race. In addition, a motion to authorize the issuance of the acknowledgement and indemnification statement pursuant to the PennDOT request. All one motion.
So moved.
Second.
Rebecca made the motion. Rick seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, Fernbrook Lodge window and siding replacement bids. The windows and siding bids went out and were returned last Wednesday. And I'll allow, can I ask Erica to bring us up to date on that?
Okay, we had went through the bid process. We received two bids, two responsible complete bids. The bids that had come in were very close, within a few $1,000s of each other. The lowest is Barclay Design and Construction at $124,000. And then the second bid is Donald Reisinger Incorporated at $128,900. So we spent some time reviewing the bid. Again, the nature of the market conditions, we did have some estimates pulled together that were a little lower than the results of the bid. So we had to evaluate that as far as the available open space funds. But it is a prevailing wage project, and given different issues with projects right now, we're just kind of looking at the value of the project and the fact that they're both so close. We feel that, and of course, in looking at Barclay, we spent some time researching a number of references which were provided. So the bidders were required to provide a questionnaire, references, which I made several phone calls, and the township that did respond to me had said that Barclay Design, the work is of high craftsmanship, and they're very satisfied with their performance. So that's what we have presented here is a recommendation to award the contract for the window replacement and the siding project at $124,000.
To what company again?
Oh, yes, it's to Barclay Design and Construction, and they're based in Phoenixville.
Okay, so that would be the motion. Do I have any comments or questions from the board?
How many windows are they gonna need to replace?
There's quite a few. I have a specification here. Let me take a look at that, Rebecca. Here I have it. I'll get back to you with the exact number.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public? So we have a motion to, does somebody want to make that motion to award the bid?
So moved.
Harvey makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Rick seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Erica, do we have a timeline on that?
I have, from the notice of award, we'll have a 60-day period. We'll work with the contractor on what their schedule is and the availability of producing the specs and the materials that we have prescribed for the project, so that we can review and approve that and what their estimated delivery time is. But we have a 60-day timeline.
We're going to move on to administration. Supervisor report. Rebecca, do you have anything?
No, not tonight.
Okay. Rick, do you have anything?
I have a couple things. The open space meeting is a little off the normal schedule. It's Tuesday, September 22nd at 7 o'clock. The second thing I'd like to talk, if you remember a year and a half or so ago, we had some open space money put in CDs to earn a little interest instead of, I believe those CDs have come due. And I would like to see it reinvested somewhere so we can earn a little interest on it rather than sitting in a bank account. I'd like to get some input from the other supervisors on that.
When do they come due?
I think they already came due, if I'm not mistaken. I think Erica can add to that.
Oh, there are a lot of opportunities to look at different strategies and approach to, the investment to gain on the interest and still remain, have a liquid situation for the spending that we have planned. So it's just a matter of looking at what our options are and what we're comfortable with, and tying up, certain assets so that we can build on those. That's the whole key here in looking at that.
So at the very least, I'd like to ask for Erica to be able to have permission to start, looking for what's available out there.
Absolutely. I would concur with that.
And then I have one more item.
Wait, before you finish, I'm assuming, Harv, Rebecca, you're okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mike, is it the open space, or is it the open space maintenance money that would be invested? Because I remember reading or seeing that we're running out of open space maintenance funds.
No, it's the open space funds. I don't know exactly the amount of money we have sitting there, but it's quite a bit.
Yes. Okay. That's
We
We're not investing all of it. We're investing a portion of it.
We did not invest all of it the last time.
Right.
We kept a certain amount aside for anything that came available.
Correct.
Right. We have the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, and we have Fulton. And so that maintenance fund probably has more money in it than spending plan, but at the same time, I think it's generally, what's going on with the park projects, trying to have a buffer so that if something does come up, the money, is available and there, as opposed to, maybe looking at a 1 year, 2 year term on some of these options. So we can definitely take a look at it.
The last thing I have, I'd just like to say congratulates and thank you to the police department. For anybody that doesn't know, they received their recertification, and that's always a big deal for me. And good job, guys. Thank you.
Well, I'll just add on to that. Thanks to our police department also for holding the car show at the fire company over the weekend. As you're all aware, the fire company has been challenged this year with fundraisers, and the police department the police association put a car show together down there. I understand it was very successful. So Matt, thank you and the association for sponsoring that event and pulling off a good event. It was a nice day, had good weather, and I understand a good turnout.
It was a good turnout, yeah. And it was Officer Vic Pacheese did a lot of the legwork and put all that stuff together again for us. So it was very successful.
Good. We'll pass along our thanks.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the fire company too, because I know they're deeply appreciative of that event and the effort. Harvey, anything?
No.
Okay. Managers report. Erica.
Okay, thank you. Something recent on COVID, Governor Wolf announced a change for the requirement for restaurants that would go into effect September 21st. And this is increasing the capacity of 25% to 50%. There is a self-certifying safety measure involved for the restaurants that would go into effect around that time in advance of being able to increase the occupancy. In addition to that, no alcohol can be served after 10 p.m. So that's just, again, watching, as things unfold with, everyone going back to college and schools and that sort of thing, and, these precautions. Additionally, Chester County updated their COVID-19 portal information that's publicly available. It's called Protecting Our Progress. And this expands information involved with tracing, and it kind of delves into drilling down on the tracing information and risk data, and that's available for public review as well. The Chester County Farm Guide, they actually recently the Chester County Agricultural Council put out a farm guide which provides, it's on a PDF and it's a hard copy as well. The township should get a few hard copies here soon, but there are several Chester County farms with different products ranging from Christmas trees to cheese to all sorts of things that, supporting our local agricultural economy is important. And there are a few of the notable farms in North Coventry, which are part of that. The EAC webinar series, the final webinar will be tomorrow as part of the summer series, Tuesday, September 15th. And it'll be a presentation on hawk identification for beginners, and that'll be at 7 p.m. on Zoom. That's available on the township website to participate. And then on RSI, the Chester County Solid Waste Authority received a $7,500 grant through DEP to help with the scope and work involved with the operational plan for RSI. So they're working on that, and it adds an engineering firm to help bolster what they have available to do with that. So they're working on a report with that engineering firm, and they'll be working with the township and a number of the stakeholders in RSI and all the volunteers involved to help with that and produce something by December 1st. And I just had a few other things. I know it's with fall becomes flu shot time. There's through the Chester County Health Department, they recently announced a series of different flu shot clinics, and the one closest for North Coventry is October 19th, 3 to 6:30 p.m. and that is held at Owen J. Roberts Middle School. So that is coming up, and I know, given the issues with public health and different concerns out there, that they're trying to promote those events as well. There are a lot of different educational opportunities available through virtual means through the county. So I would just suggest, I'm getting a lot of information through the Chester County Historic Preservation Network on different tours that are going to be done. They're all going to be held virtually for the fall. In addition to later this week, one of our own EAC members, Phoebe Robb, will be doing a native tree selection webinar through French and Pickering Creeks Trust, and that's at 7 p.m. as well. So on these different sites, there's a lot of opportunities to, to participate and, learn different things going on in safe means. So that's my report.
Okay, Dan, solicitor's report.
The only thing I have is Tripodi. We did get the final order from Judge Mann. Post-trial motions were filed by Tripodi. They were denied. An appeal has not been filed yet, but I would not be surprised. In the meantime, we are working on the necessary documentation, Erica and I, that is necessary so that the property could be placed for sale and go to the highest bidder. That's all I have.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Public comment portion of the meeting where the public gets to comment. If you have a comment, please unmute yourself, identify yourself, and comment away.
Hi, this is Sharon Lossig. Two things. One, I wanted to thank the police department as well for that car show. My family participated. We had a really good time. It was a great turnout, and everybody seemed like they were pretty safe and practicing the correct protocol. So it was we had a nice time. So thank you for putting that on.
Good.
And second, I just wanted to see if there's an update on the property next door. I know at the last meeting, Erica had mentioned that she had talked to Mr. Garner, and they were working on the vehicles that were abandoned. And she said at that point, then they could, if nothing was done, that the township could start to cite him. And I was wondering if that has taken place, and if not, if there's a date in mind when that will take place.
Okay. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Good, Erica. Hi.
Good, good. So I've been corresponding with the attorney from the property owner. And my last discussion with them, they had a confirmed buyer for the cars. That fell through recently. So,
Oh boy.
yes. So we did give, an opportunity to, if there was a plan for disposition, that was fine. So at this point, they're pressing that the property owner works to just, dispose of them in another means. But the next step is citation. But we have been trying to work. They had advised they had a plan. It has fallen through. So we're still working through that.
Okay. Do you have a date in mind? I mean, how far out is he? How much time are you giving him for the next step, I guess is my question.
We've been doing this in about 2-week increments. So it's been about that time. So I think it's, we're at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Any other public comment? We are having an executive session this evening concerning real estate and personnel matters. So at this time, I am going to recess the meeting. I want to thank you all for attending tonight. I ask that you sign out. We'll be back in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tonight on the 28th. Please join us and check our website for the link to do so. Thank you, everyone. Okay, board had an executive session. No decisions or motions were made at that time. So at this time, we are going to adjourn the meeting. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.